What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, I was just running through some numbers here and thought I would just hit record while I was actually calculating out what it would be for each rarity. And when I say what, I'm talking about the overall expected circulating supply of cards. Now, and actually, let me clarify that. Total BCX printed is probably what we want to look at, because circulating number of cards doesn't really take into account the amount that has been either burned or been combined, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. I did the math before this again, so we're looking at the print data right now. But before this, I took a look at where we are trending at right now, and at this point in time, we're seeing pack sales come to almost probably a complete stall for Chaos Legion. I don't foresee any other kind of catalyst that would push us to sell like a bunch more between now and the final burn date, which is the 31st. Now, again, something could come out and these numbers will then be wrong. So this is all just an estimation, but it is hopefully a close estimation. And that is, we are going to have roughly 11.5 million packs. So about 3.5 million packs are going to be burned when all is said and done. So that's a significant amount, which means if you look at where we're at right now, and actually let me go back to the Splinter Cards website. If you look at where we're at right now, this 8.2 million opened is actually not the, well, the thing is, it's not the overall, it's not the overall amount. It's not 54%. What we're really looking at is if there's only going to be 11.5 million, there's going to be, we've opened roughly 71%. Okay. So that's the number that I'm going to use. Actually 71.4% to be as specific as possible. So that being said, let's go ahead and see what this looks like then if we can estimate some of the print run for many of these cards. Now, you can see that a lot of the common cards here are in that 980,000 range. So we're going to do 980,000 divided by 0.714. And you can see that we'll probably get around 1.3, 1.4 million BCX of each of these cards. Now, this is really significant to me because I want everyone to realize that the common reward cards that we got, so your Pelacor, all of your Pelacors, your Gargoyle Lion, Venari Heatsmith, all of those had a print run of 8 million. 8 million. That's significantly high. That's more than 5x, I believe, of where this is going to be. And they all printed. So this is why, like, you know, again, I'm not trying to say it's good or bad if you were collecting Pelacor Bandits. Obviously, I was collecting some too. But we're going to need a lot more people to eat up those cards. So you could either look at it as it with glass half empty, where it's just like, whoa, there's like way too many reward cards out there because, you know, people were buying them, but the player base isn't at a state in which it can absorb all of that, and we'll need a lot more people to come in. Or you can look at it in glass half full and say, well, the community's eating it up anyway. Maybe we don't have enough Chaos Legion common cards, right? Especially as you get to some of the higher value ones, some of the ones that are very, very important to the meta. So again, something to keep in mind, 1.3 million. And what I'm going to do just for the heck of it is divide this by 400. So the maxed amount of copies, if all of these were to be maxed at end of their print run, we'd only have 3,400 of them. So keep that in mind. That's Diamond Plus, right? 3,400 of them would be it. And so however many people you think are playing right now in Diamond Plus or even Gold stretching into Diamond, that's what it'll be. So let's go ahead now to the rares. We'll do the same exercise here. With the rares, you can see we'll say we're roughly at like 361,000 divided by 0.714. And now we have a little bit more than 500,000 BCX that is expected to be printed with the current state of things. For rares, the max amount is 115. So divide this by 115, and you can see here that actually this is a little bit interesting. So there's actually 43, or we'll just call it 4,400 potential rares that max rares that can be created from all of the BCX that is out there. So again, looking at certain cards that I know are super clutch to the meta and keep in mind that rares also include the summoners. So if there can only be, 4,400 summoners, again, that's max level summoners. That does make things interesting. And it's difficult to compare it to Untamed, but I do wonder what the next boom will look like, boom in player base. And I do expect that to come at some point, right? I just don't know when, if that'll be this year or if that'll be 2025 when, if that'll be this year, if that'll be 2024 right after the Bitcoin halving, or if it'll be 2025 when the usual effect of the Bitcoin halving is felt roughly 12 to 18 months later. So again, 4,400, that's what we're looking at. All right, let's go ahead and check out the epics. Epics are a fun one because they're actually difficult to level up. So let's just look at, we'll go 99,000 divided by 714. So 138,000 of them. Divide this by 46, which is the max amount. And there can only be 3,000 max epics. So I want you guys thinking about Magi of Chaos, Magi Necrosi, Nerissa Tridon, Tusk the Wide, Forgotten One, and Grund. A lot of these guys are used in many of my battles, and this does make me think about wanting to max them out, or at least get them to a respectable level before Chaos Legion is fully out of print. Okay, and then we'll go to the legendaries. Now, the legendary drop rates, the legendary drop rates are a little skewed, especially for Lyra the Dark and Grum Flameblade and Iza. And if you remember, this is the reason why they had to bump up the pack threshold. It's because they realized they had printed too many of these. So I'm not going to count those. Again, I think they're fine as cards, but I think we're probably closer to this like 31. So not counting the new legendary summoners, although I think they will eventually catch up. So let's see. We'll go with 31,500 divided by 0.714. So we can expect a total of like 4,400 or 44,000 BCX. Now this is divided by 11, which means we can expect around 4,000 maxed decks. So what am I trying to get at with all this, right? These are all just rough numbers here. But as we move forward, what is the maxed what is the max amount of people that can play with these maxed decks at the highest levels? And I know the argument is going to be, well, you don't need all cards, you don't need all splinters. Sure, that's fine. But we're seeing, I would say, just to be on the conservative side, less than 5,000. Like less than 5,000 people can play with a maxed Chaos Legion deck. And if Chaos Legion is going to be what is dominant 6 months from now, whenever Rebellion comes out through that entire run, that could be interesting because keep in mind, we have anywhere from 200 to 300,000 daily active players. Again, I know most of them are bots, but the point is that to play at the highest levels, I would say, at least in Modern, you would need some, if not, a good amount of these cards. So again, just sharing these numbers with you. Obviously, everything was 4,000-ish or under, but it does make you think about the print rate. And I know people, this is not me trying to defend, the packs or say that we shouldn't be pack burning. It's fine. I think the pack burning is actually good, not because we printed too many, but it does provide this kind of incentive and this endpoint rather than it just being this slog, right? Because a lot of the people who want to play at the highest levels probably already have the deck that they want. For people like me who are slacking, I'm slowly leveling up and I want more time, but this does push me to be like, okay, well, let me just grab such and such summoner or such and such card. So looking at the numbers in this way, it does make it a much more stark reality to me that Chaos Legion just didn't actually have as many cards as people thought. Like it wasn't as overprinted, I think, as many people thought or expected. Again, and I don't blame the team because at the time we didn't know the prevalence of the bot problem, as well as we didn't know that we were entering into a huge bear market and we would lose a lot of the players that were just here for the gains, that were just here for the bull run. So as we go along and are hopefully attracting more and more players who are here for the game, I think that this is a number that we should keep in mind, that at the end of the day, only 4,000 people-ish or 5,000 people-ish will be able to play in Modern once Rebellion comes out at the highest levels. Again, obviously so much could change between now and then, but that combined with a potential staking requirement coming in Q2 for SPS, that could really, really start to limit things. So just some food for thought. That's all I got for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.